I want to thank everybody for coming on out. Today we're going to go over some professional development, I guess, assessments for in the classroom that'll help you. So when I was going through the program the last couple of years, I started trying to redefine why I really am doing this. Like what excites me about teaching. And I started to recognize that I've really been passing up some opportunities to kind of help my peers, you guys, because so often I sit in these meetings, I sit through these developments, and I hear, we're never going to use this is ridiculous, we don't have the support for this, they throw all this stuff at us. So I decided I'd give you guys something that I hope that you can use. Something you can walk out of here, and it's not going to add a bunch of planning to your lives, it's not going to give you a bunch of additional work, but it's going to help improve your instruction, and it's going to help improve student achievement. So how did I come to in-class formative assessments and decision making? Some of you may have seen this before. This is going to be a little bit difficult to try it. I'll go back over here. But I saw this video, and it became something that made sense to me, and I hope it'll make sense to you guys as
I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products. And nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. When we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart, or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal?
Right. Andrew, if you did the lights for me. Alright, so hopefully that video kind of got something across to you in terms of maybe a little inspiration. For me, it was simple. I wanted to figure out how I could make a difference, how to help a handful of students that maybe we haven't gotten through in the past. I looked at some of the data. One of the things that we all do is we identify students who are struggling throughout the years with our common formative assessments, right? We give them the test at the beginning, we give it to them in the middle, we give it to them at the end. At the end of the year, we go to our department heads and we say, hey, department heads, these kids, they've been struggling all year, we've tracked them. Why don't we start remediating now? Now let's do our Tiger 3, let's start going after it. And I want to look at it from a little bit different of an angle and say, you know, we do a good job in that form of assessment, but why can't we catch them earlier? Why can't we identify their weaknesses earlier? Because we don't have time, we don't want to mess up our current routines, you know? We do what we do, we've been doing it, it becomes easy, it becomes the way of life. Well, today, hopefully, you'll be able to walk out with an activity or two that won't take any extra time to plan. You'll be able to transplant it in any content area, and it will help you. So, first things first. If everybody would please stand up. Please stand up, all right? The way we're going to do this, and I do this in my classrooms, and this is how we separate people, everybody up. We're going to get in a horseshoe formation, but before we do that, I want you to think of, if you could go anywhere on York County's dime this summer, right? All inclusive, where would you go? Think about that destination. It could be a city, it could be a country, it could be another planet, whatever. You know, you can be creative with it. But think of the first letter of that destination. All right, and what I want is we're going to do a horseshoe formation, like I said, A, L, Z. All right, so it's going to start here. So if I wanted to go to Albuquerque, right? Albuquerque. You can start here. If you want to go to Peru, you're going to go here. Now, how do we figure out where we're going to go? You're going to have to talk to people. All right, so you're going to have to say, hey, I want to go to Colombia, so I'm a C, so I'll probably be over here. So with your destination, you guys start moving around. A's here, horseshoe all the way to Z. So go to where you think you'd be, and then just start figuring it out, and you're going to get shoulder to shoulder. All right, you guys can close the gap there. Since we don't
Albuquerque.
Aruba.
Okay.
Aruba.
No,
No.
Yeah.
We're A.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty big.
All right. All right. So I want to hear where you guys are going.
Okay, I chose Africa because I
Africa.
would like to go on a safari.
So what?
Aruba.
Aruba.
Have not visited Aruba just yet.
Yeah. Horrible.
Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, all of those.
The Exumas.
Zumas.
Oh.
Germany, I have a good friend there who I haven't seen in a long time.
You got places to stay.
Greece.
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 Japan.
Japan.
Paris, because it's always a good idea.
Oh, can't go wrong with Paris.
Spain.
Spain and
Tahiti.
Tahiti. All right, so this kind of gives everybody an opportunity to kind of think outside of the content. You'd be surprised at some of the answers you get from your kids. So now what I want you to do is count off in fours: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way across.
1,
2, 3,
4,
1, 2,
3, 4,
2,
3, 4.
1.
All right, so let me have my ones at this table, twos here, threes here, and fours at that table. Grab a seat. Take a seat. Okay. So inside, and we're going to pretend there's a little barrier here. You two don't know each other.
Okay.
We had a table issue, so that was the best I can do. So now I want you to open up your little box. All right. Also, under the box, you'll see a sheet. I want everybody to have a sheet.
Turn them over.
Turn them over.
All right.
All right. And in the notes section, before you do anything else, I know you can go ahead and read it if you like, but in the notes section, I'd like you to first write down what is wrong with professional development. What don't you like about it? What is the problem that we all come to deal with professional development? All right, be true. Don't hold back. You know, all these sheets are going to be anonymous. And, yeah, so you can write it in the notes section. If it's just one descriptive word, if it's a sentence, that's fine. Give you guys a minute or two to think about it, jot some ideas down. It doesn't have to be super specific. I mean, it can be whatever you want it to be. All right. Give you a second to jot down your last idea. Now I want you to confer with your group, and whoever would be traveling the farthest, they are going to be your writer. So talk to the person or the group around you, figure out the destination, which location is the furthest away.
Long way to play.
I thought you were going to say it's in West Virginia. Really close. All right, once you figured it out, I want the writer, you can grab a marker, and I want you to draw a dividing line down the middle. It can be hot dog, it can be hamburger, whichever direction you want to split the paper in half with a line you can do. And while our recorder does that, I want everybody else to start thinking of what would be positive adjectives to describe professional development. Since you wrote down all the bad stuff, you can use that and come up with some of the good ideas. And Ryder, you're going to start recording those on one side.
So we're recording positive.
Positives and PD. So based on your negatives, it doesn't matter. Whichever side you want.
So positive, negative.
Just positives. Only positives on one side.
That's right.
Share ideas and
Yeah,
come on,
So again, it's just positives on one side.
Get to share
Positives
the,
on one side.
ideas and experiences from college.
That keeps you current, up to date.
Motivating, energizing.
Yeah. Nothing else that is
So how do you say, its involvement, you know?
You guys another minute?
It benefits students. Students have that opportunity to communicate, hopefully the student, the kids,
All right, now, with what you have written down on that second half, I want you to write me just one sentence that would best define good professional development.
good professional.
Just one sentence, yeah, it can be whatever. Yep, on the other half.
That defines what?
It's going to define good professional development.
Good.
Exactly.
One sentence.
One sentence to find.
Tie it all together. And when you're done, I want you to hang it on this wall right here. Any space you want, high, low, doesn't matter.
One idea.
Invigorating. Students for both teachers and
Ideas,
One
motivating
idea
your peers
creates a positive change.
for optimal student benefit.
Wow.
In every single one.
Sometimes it gives us, curriculum points, and then after that, it gives you the opportunity to have it benefit whoever was here.
Alright, so good professional development is collaborative.
Nailed it. So when you're done, you can just hang it up on the wall anywhere over there. And we respect.
We're done. We're the superstars. We're the smart group.
This is all we're putting on here?
That's it. You were preparing for the future?
I was. It was gonna call it a yoga.
There you go.
That is.
Is it a compound sentence?
Oh, shit.
You got a lot of hands.
That's a fire.
So once you're done, you can hang it up over here.
Okay, abstract thinkers.
All right, so I'm going to read these off. First, we have effective PD is relevant, current, invigorating for both teachers and students. Next up, invigorating. Going in depth on a single idea that will have a positive impact on student outcomes. Good professional development is a collaborative environment where peers can share new ideas, energizing each other for optimal student benefit. Good professional development inspires new ideas through peer interaction and the shared collective wisdom of the group. So what you guys just did here, we did on posters, but it's something you can do in the classroom. It's called the graffiti wall. And
Paul, could you please check by the main office? Paul?
come on, Paul. So you would you could subtract the whole idea or theme from the equation if you wanted to, and just go with the words. So say you taught a subject in English or math, science, it doesn't matter. When you're done with the day, you can have the kids come up and just jot down ideas that they remember. You know, so when the kids are leaving the class, it's kind of like an exit strategy, but it gives you an idea to identify some common denominators. Like, what part of your instruction are the kids getting? All right, based on, this is again just all your ideas, we have the benefits of the teachers and the students, optimal student benefit, collective wisdom, inspiring students, student outcomes. So it seems like we continue to harp on two major ideas, which is working together and having student success. And that's, that's the idea behind the PLC, and that's the idea of what I hope you learned today. So the next little video I'm going to show you is what is a formative assessment. We all do the data stuff, we all do the common assessment stuff, but this kind of brings it to your level of, so what's some issues that you may be running into that I know I have run into, maybe even this year. So you can hit those lights for me.
And we know those common formative assessments are designed to do two things. One,
oh, I forgot, I skipped a line of directions. What I want you to do with your notes is to jot down any words that jump out to you. Anything. Single words, little phrases. Half the lines for us, Andrew. Thank you.
Okay, I got you.
Just one.
of course, tell us which kids are struggling, which ones are excelling. But most importantly, common assessments are designed for us to reflect on improve on our practice, our professional practice, our instructional practice. Common assessments are designed to help us improve our professional practice. Rick mentioned it the other day. Reeve sees common formative assessments as the same. Common formative assessments versus summative assessments. Same parallel as a physical versus an autopsy. Talked about that. Both exams are going to tell you what's wrong. But only one's going to give you a chance to do something about it. Common assessments are designed to help us reflect on our practice. The difference between formative assessment and summative assessment: when the cook tastes the soup, that's formative assessment. When the customer tastes the soup, that's summative assessment. And I find teams struggle most with using those two arms. The arms we use most in schools that I work with, we figure out which kids got it, which kids didn't, sort and select and figure out the next step. And we stop there. You've been doing that since the beginning of time. You can look at an assessment and tell us which kids got it, which kids didn't in your sleep. Multitasking, in a car, on a bus, on a train, on a plane. The second leveraging arm is using it for reflective improvement in our instructional practice. Figuring out whose instructor is more effective than others in this area and with these students. I look back now and wish I had this when I was a brand new teacher. But this wasn't even our paradigm to ever let data facilitate the question of improvement. When I was a fourth grade teacher my first year, my teammates warned me. They said, listen, moving from third to fourth grade is tough. Kids really get their minds blown with fractions. You got to watch that fractions unit. Don't get frustrated. Don't beat yourself up if the kids don't get it the first time around. I said, okay, and I was ready. I taught those mixed fractions that year, 1992. First year teacher, first year. You ever see when the light comes on with kids and they get it, that look? I was teaching those mixed fractions and it was like the milk of knowledge was just pouring all over them. They were getting everything I was saying. I was dealing, baby. If there was a baseball card for rookie of the new fourth grade teachers teaching fractions in 1992, I would have been on a baseball card that year. For those mixed fractions, boy, I tell you, I got my George Jefferson walk going that year just like this. About those mixed fractions. And then I took all those lessons and activities, I gathered them up carefully, put them in a manila folder, put them in my tall file. Wait, I laminated the folder first. You get a lesson like you got to laminate that folder first, right? You laminate the folder first, put it in my tall file cabinet for next year. Next year comes, new group of kids, right? It's fractions time. I didn't take my eyes off the kids like I got you. I take out that same lesson, same scope and sequence, same opening activities, same hands-on activities, same homework, same guided practice, same classroom practice, same cooperative learning activities, same everything, same delivery, same pace. I'm dealing. Bouncing off the kids' heads like Teflon. Is it just me? Who's been there? Same everything. The next year, kids are not getting it. But I'm not in a PLC. Collaboration is not part of our system. We have a focus on teaching, not a focus on learning. The focus was get through Unit 8 by May. It just wasn't our paradigm. And so, but you know, with love in my heart, and I wanted to change the world, and I love teaching, I did what we all do. I retaught the next day. I go back and I reteach. And didn't get much better results. Found out two things. One, I taught it the best way I could that first time around. You ever pull your pockets inside out like this? You say, I got nothing else, I got nothing else, I got nothing else. I taught it the best way I could that first time. Second thing I learned is louder and slower is not reteaching. So what was I left to do? No place in my paradigm did it ever say, hey, sit down with your teammates on a weekly basis and talk about how you might improve your instruction to meet the needs of this group of kids. That just wasn't our paradigm. It may have happened by accident every once in a while, but we had no system in place. Especially because I taught it effectively the year before. Especially because I knew I was effective. It'd be one thing if it was the first time I was teaching it and it crashed and burned. But I had success last year, so you know what happens? What would happen in my school and our team? Eventually, we would kind of, you know, with love in our hearts, we would kind of a little bit start talking, sometimes start talking about the kids. Well, you heard about that third grade, right? That's how my team is going to help me feel better. We help each other feel better this way. Well, you know about that third grade that was coming. You heard about them, didn't you? That third grade that starts out as that kindergarten. I always picture kids in kindergarten walking in like, why are people looking at us like that? I don't know. I'm only 5. Right? So you know that third grade. Well, you know those Williams kids, you had the brother. Well, you know the little kids who live on that side of town and the Section 8 apartments, right? You know homeless kids, the kids from the trailer park, the kids from those apartments, the kids from that side of town. You know the kids who speak like that. You know the kids who don't. You know those parents. We would start focusing on things outside our control. Not understanding that the answers were in the room. But I had no system like that. I had no system. Now, I got a team of 4. I bring that assessment data to the table. I'm human. I'm going to start ranting and raving about last year's kids and how they knew it. And then one of my teammates is going to say, oh, okay, you had your 2 minutes to rant. Let's get down to it. We look at data together, and I see 2 of my teammates' kids knocked it out of the park. So right there is an opportunity for me to reflect on my professional practice. How about that? That's an awesome opportunity. There's a price, though. Vulnerability-based trust, administrators helping to create a safe environment, administrators expecting us to collaborate as opposed to encouraging us or inviting us to. You know? And it's not easy putting data on the table and looking at it through the lens of instructional practice and not the kids. But that's a powerful process. And that process doesn't wait for me to ask for help. The data says, ask for help. And then how about this? The kids that didn't get it in my class, maybe we'll do a flexible regrouping model, and those 12 kids get farmed out to my 2 teammates who are teaching it more effectively to this group of kids. That's a powerful process. What we have to be careful of is that we don't make it mean good teacher, bad teacher.
All right, so we will stop this here. What this guy, I think, really started to focus on was just a simple idea of getting out of your routine. Now, I know right now we're getting ready for the summer, so we don't really have any PLC opportunities. Through the year, we always end up running into some type of scheduling issue. But what I want to do is be able to take some of those main concepts and provide you with something that you can do and that's easy. So if you guys look at your sheets there, coming with an idea now of what this will be based on, and we did a little exercise already, what would be your objective for leaving this PD? Like, what would you want to have, I guess, as a tool, as learned knowledge, any goal, any objective for completing this professional development through the lens of an educator? If you would just write down any objective. It can be vague, it can be very specific. It can be whatever you want it to be. Okay, so once you get done with that, if you would...
Is that, you want to write up here?
Yep, write it on the top above the notes for me. Yeah, so again, if you... What is your objective upon leaving this PD? What do you want to gain? Is there anything you think you can gain from it? Do you even have an objective? All right. Once you get done with that, you guys just look up and give me an idea. All right, we're going to mix it up again. All right, so once you get done writing, you can stand on up. We're going to do the same formation, the same idea, but this time we're going to get in chronological order, not alphabetical, and it's going to be based on your birth date, not year, just date. January here, June will be in the middle, and December will be over here. So get on up, move around, figure out where you would be located.
What is it?
Monthly day. No. So June or January 1st will be here. December 31st. June in the middle.
Oh, Gary and I are going to be together.
We are. Yeah, we're going to hang out next to each other.
Oh, we have to stand.
How much I could get you moving around in that bump?
Yeah, that's fine. June. So
I'll
what are
go.
we going to do? Yeah.
We'll have to go by that.
What time?
January. Go by that.
22nd. That was afternoon.
All right, so we think we're in order. Yep, lead us off.
January.
What?
22nd, January.
March 1st, March 11th, April 11th, June 13th.
June 14th.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Today.
Yesterday was my wife's birthday.
No,
June
today.
19th.
June 19th? 14th is Kuhn's birthday.
Yeah, 13th. Flies here.
Oh, sorry.
Birth of the U.S.
July 7th.
July 7th?
27th, July.
September 31st.
We're both November 5th, but my year is earlier.
What is it?
December 5th.
December 5th. Okay, so this is kind of a cool. Anybody ever hear the birthday theory? So, I don't know, somebody way above my pay grade figured this out. I couldn't explain the evidence to you, but if you Google it, the internet says it's true. That out of 25 people, you have a 50% chance of having 2 people with the same birthday. That's crazy, right? 365 days. And with 70 people, you have a 99.9% chance of having double birthdays. So I just thought that was kind of cool. And again, it's a little icebreaker that you can do in the middle of instruction, anything to get things moving. So let's count it off again, starting with 1. All the way to 4. 1, 2,
3, 4, 1, 2,
3.
1, oh, 4.
1, 2,
3.
4.
1.
2.
All right, so let's do it again. 1's here. So you're going to want to go back and grab your stuff. But 1's are going to go here, 2's are going to go here, 3's here, and 4's at the children's table.
And I see you have a little room. Should I make them a little longer? Yeah, those are nice too. I'm gonna give me a couple here too. That's what I need too. 3, 4, yes.
6 taken.
Yes, sir. I need a chair.
So we have what? 1's, 2's. All right. Okay, so this next little activity, right on schedule. This one I kind of twisted and made my own little idea out of it. It's called the ABCs of brainstorming. So what you guys did is you wrote down keywords based on that video. Same thing you would do in a class. Watch video, read an article, have some type of object, look at a painting, it doesn't matter. Learn a formula, and you would write down as many words as you can. Now, the ABC brainstorming idea, the way I'm changing it a little bit is that we're going to make it an acrostic version. That way it's easier to manipulate your words. So let's say we were doing the Age of Exploration. We were talking about Christopher Columbus, and one group, one of the things they have written down is Atlantic Ocean. So you could come up to the A, write Atlantic Ocean. Or you could come to the O if you were in group 3 and write Atlantic Ocean. You guys get the ideas, use the C, the N. Doesn't matter. Any letter inside those two words, that theme that you had. So, in your group, I want the youngest person to be the writer. Now, in your board, in your basket, there should be a dry erase marker. If there's not, there's a couple up here. And I want you guys to look at the letters you have, and the recorder list your letters down for group 1, 2, 3, and 4, and everybody work together to accomplish knocking out all of those letters.
So we just put it on here?
Yep. Yeah. So whoever the recorder is, write your letters down, and then everybody can verbally.
We're going to tell you a word.
Correct. Yes.
What's the topic?
From the video. Anything from the video.
Keywords that you wrote.
Keywords from the video.
Well, I got it. Reflect. It reflects good.
And our words can have any of those.
I apologize to group 4 with a Z. Who wrote the X? He didn't say Yes. And so if any group knocks out all their letters, send your recorder up and fill them on out.
He never answered any questions. Just good teaching. Good teaching.
There you go. Now, to stay on time, folks, if I can let everybody just stop what you're doing. To stay on time, we're going to cut it off. All right, where you're at. So recorder is going up, and whatever you have, I know we're going to have blanks. Fill out whatever you do have. It's going up. Blanks.
Data for D.
Yeah.
We're still going with it. Flag. Your red card.
What do you look at?
Yeah, that's right. He wants to
Yeah, the stress and all that.
Did they say happy birthday to you,
Where was our focus? What was our focus? Was that?
expectation, yes, and then unite was, and put in collaboration for unite with parentheses.
Oh, over top? Is that what we had, over top?
No, but just in parentheses beside it.
Oh, got you.
Did we think of anything for Jay?
There we are.
He said he was, well, jolly. Jolly. Remember he was jolly at the beginning, he had great scores. Professional. It's one of his first Jefferson strut.
Right, Jefferson strut.
There you go, the Jefferson strut,
You're
that's
good.
it.
You're good.
Jolly Jefferson strut.
Thank you. All right, folks. So what we have here, and I've already explained it a little bit, is the ABCs of brainstorming. So the idea here is once you're done with any type of instruction, you're going to look up here, and if we see Atlantic Ocean, like we were talking about with the age of exploration, Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, or reflect, you start to identify, hey, maybe next class I don't have to talk as much about the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe next class I don't have to focus on reflect. But you know what I noticed? There's no Ferdinand and Isabella for, obviously, talking about the age of exploration example. So maybe that's what I start my instruction off with. Nobody in the class picked up on that little nugget of information. And again, this is another way of informally gaining data. All right, and it's simple, it's quick, it's easy. The kids get up, they get to work together, and it helps some of those kids that are struggling participate in an informal environment. It mixes everything up, so people are going to continually be pulled out of their cliques. All right. So the final thing I have here, the last activity. I do have to give a bit of a disclaimer here. So this video is just fun. All right, and it has to do with teaching. Now, I say this because we live in the modern world. There is a Donald Trump reference. But with that in mind, this video was made like 4 years ago. It's before he ever was running for president. It's not anything bad. It's not anything good. It's just talking about how he was real rich and powerful. So just want to throw that out there so nobody gets upset. But this is funny. So all I want you to do here is just watch it. Just watch it.
We're good.
This is Lakeside Middle School, a typical middle school located in a typical town of Fauville. Lakeside doesn't always have the best scores, but it does have an amazing staff.
Welcome to another fabulous day of professional development.
This is Assistant Principal Carl Hyde.
Excuse me, Dorothy, thought we said no kids at the teacher training.
Son, please, I will call my union representative.
You know what? I love your children. My principal brought me in because he needed an expert in professional development. This room needs a little infusion of excitement. I think I know just the thing. That's right. It's data. What else can drive all teachers' actions? Data. Oh, data. Come on, give me that data. From Sunday to Saturday, you best not forget that data. Oh, data. Data, that's it. Come on, give me that data. From Sunday to Saturday, everyone give me that data.
Thus began the arduous task of breaking down last year's scores.
Why do you hate us?
This is English teacher Elle Frankel. She is on edge. Today's training caused her to rework her morning routine.
To get here on time, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. instead of 5 a.m., which means my daughter had to go to bed an hour earlier, which is not happening. And then I have to make a choice in the morning whether I want to make the lunches or I want to do the laundry. And of course, I make the lunches, so that we all stink from the smell of our dirty, unwashed clothes. But I finally muster up the courage to get out of bed. I'm leaving during rush hour traffic, and by the time I drop my daughter off, there's no way I'm making my hot yoga class in time. Early morning starts are the bane of my existence. I mean, a living nightmare.
Perhaps the icing on the cake is that her teaching teammate is not here. He's here. This is Edward Brooks. Edward is feeling great about bringing breakfast to work today. For the first time in 4 years, he plans on being on time to professional development.
Sorry, everyone. I brought everybody breakfast. We got out of hand. Sorry, I'm late, everybody. I tried to bring coffee and it just got out of hand. Sorry, I'm late, everyone. I brought breakfast and it got out of hand and I ate it. I ate the breakfast. Sorry, I'm late. I tried to bring breakfast. I guess we saw that one coming. I swear I was mugged by an ex-student outside.
Despite another failure in his attempt to appreciate his coworkers, Ed feels great because he's made a decision. This will be his last year teaching. As Ed's team begins the painful task of remembering last year's data, Ed begins the painful task of remembering last year's coworkers.
Well, Ed, you just take this home and get it signed by your parents. That'd be great.
This is an infraction. It's for students. I'm not going to get this signed, Carrie. Get a life.
I'll get a life when I end yours.
This is Carrie Keith. Carrie is a 7th grade science teacher at Lakeside. Known for his diligence in getting things done, Carrie never misses an opportunity to show how seriously he takes his job.
Plus, this doesn't even matter, Keith. You didn't do the 3 steps to give an infraction. You got to give a warning, you got to call my parents, and you got to schedule a conference.
I did.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I brought everybody breakfast. It got out of hand.
That's a one.
Sorry I'm late, everybody. I tried to bring coffee. It got out of hand.
I'm calling your mother.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I brought breakfast. It got out of hand, and I ate the breakfast.
So as you can see, Mrs. Brooks, a bit of a problem child. Got a question that I want everybody to answer. Why are you a teacher?
Ed was perplexed. Somehow a question with only 5 words proved to be the most difficult to answer.
Discuss it in your teams. Go hang out for a minute, we'll be back in 15.
Why am I a teacher? I think I made that pretty well clear with my autobiography, Carrie Keith, the Donald Trump of teachers.
Carrie had 3 obsessions: being a great teacher, impressing L. Franklin, and Donald Trump. Carrie always wished to have Trump's power, confidence, and luxuriousness.
Luxuriousness.
Anyways, does anyone know how to answer this question?
Why do I teach? I'll tell you exactly why I teach. I teach because I'm worried about this world. I'm worried these kids are going to become adults, they're going to make crazy, uninformed decisions that at the very least are going to ruin my retirement days. I don't want the world to end before I do.
Your selflessness is astounding.
Hey now, yo.
Are you the kid who stole breakfast for me this morning?
Oh yeah, thanks for breakfast, Mr. Books.
This is LaDylan Hernandez, a struggling student at Lakeside. Due to a complicated and little-known provision in 1999, LaDylan cannot advance to the next grade until he passes the state test. Unfortunately for him and his teachers, he has failed the state test for 12 consecutive years. At the age of 25, he is the oldest 7th grader in Fauville history.
First of all, it's Brooks. Second of all, you can't steal stuff, LaDylan. If you're gonna do that, you're not gonna leave this school to graduate, you're gonna leave it to go to jail.
I like jail.
That's good to hear.
I mean, it's hardly anyone worth robbing in jail.
That is less good to hear. All right, you know what? I gotta go to training.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Dookie,
It's Brooks.
I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for what?
I used the strategies you taught me in class to help my daughter with her math homework.
I want to focus on you using my strategies, but you have a daughter?
It's just something about the way you taught me that really wanted me to learn. I mean, this is going to be a big year for me. And it's all because of you, Mrs. Dalehurst. Because of you, I really want to learn and be a lifelong learner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go take an archery class.
Motivated by his former student, Ed began to understand why he became a teacher.
June, that is a stupid answer. I've heard about you. I hate your energy. Smile and be happy. Thank you. Mr. Brooks, why do you want to be a teacher?
Teaching is the toughest job in the world. We get paid too little to try to do too much with not enough time. When you see a student become ambitiously competitive to succeed, it makes it all worth it. Wow. Plus, sometimes you have your own students go home and teach their own kids what they learned in class.
It's a fabulous answer. Let's talk before the end of the day.
This is really going to make it tough to quit at the end of the year.
You're quitting at the end of the year?
Now that's a crime.
It wasn't.
Alright, so that was an entertaining video. And that's going to lead us to our final activity. And you can use this one anytime, anywhere, just like I have the last couple. What I want you to do now, around the classroom, it's called Four Corners, but the way this projector's set up, you really don't have four corners because you guys will be behind me. So around the class you see 1, 2, 3, 4 posters that say what I know. I want you to grab a pen, pencil, marker, doesn't matter what, and at least 5 sticky notes. All right, there should be a handful in each. If anybody needs a little packet, I think we have an extra over here.
Is this per group or per person?
Per person. Per person. Everybody good? All right, so group 1, you guys go on over to that poster. Group 2, this one. Group 3 in the middle here next to Robin Lanes. Group 4, right behind you. So once you have your pencil and your sticky note, you are going to be standing in front of your poster. All right? Okay, so the way this works is this is another opportunity for us to evaluate our class, get some feedback the day of instruction, and be able to use it to help adjust some gaps in our instruction. So what you're going to do first, in that first sticky note, I want you to write a big old 1 on it. 1. You can put a little star, a little circle, smiley face. Doesn't matter as long as there's a 1 on it. All right, and what you're going to do is, if you know the answer to the question, you're going to stick it on the I know section. All right? If you kind of know it, like the way I explain this to my kids is, if you could get it right with multiple choice. Like you think, it's floating around in there, you just can't pull it out, you put that in the middle. If you have no idea or no clue, you put that in the 3rd section. So, question number 1. Why was Edward Brooks always late to his professional development meetings? If you know it, you know where to put it. Everybody put it. If you don't know it, you know where to put it there as well. All right, and then the next one, you're going to write a big old 2. Circle that. If I were to ask you to summarize the major themes of this video, if I asked you to explain to me what happened in that video, could you do it? Could you maybe do it? Could you definitely not do it? All right, you guys, I think you get the idea where we're going here. Next, number 3, write this on your next one. What was the name of the assistant principal who sang about that data? That data. What was his name? You either know it, maybe know it, or you just don't know it. Number 4, what were the 3 steps necessary to complete an infraction report? Remember, he said you have to do this, this, and this. What were those 3 things?
You guys were shooting.
All right. And last but not least, at the very end of the video, there was a teacher who got real mad when she found out that her peer was leaving. What subject did she teach? Again, yeah, this is number 5. So once you're done, you guys can come on back to your seats. You can throw your supplies in the old bin there. Alright, so again, this is the 3rd activity. We did the graffiti wall, we did the ABCs of brainstorming, and now we did 4 corners. And one thing that they all have in common is you can just look. You don't have to write a bunch of stuff down. It mixes up your instruction. Right? It gets kids moving, because we get stuck in our routine so often. But then again, you can see what you need to work on. Alright, looks like we have some kids, or some adults over here. who know the material. They could remember all the necessary information. Looks like group 3 over here is pretty strong in terms of not having any spots where they may struggle at. But let's look at what number. Looks like we have 3s, a couple 3s in the no clue, a couple 3s in the kind ofs, 3s, no clues, and I assume we probably got a couple 3s over there as well. So again, it comes back to that age of exploration idea. All right, when you had that question number 3 was, what was the importance of Ferdinand and Isabella? Nobody knows it.